See, explicit or implied meaning. Okay. By explicit or implied, like I said, is obvious. It's there. Um, for example, if the writer has talked about in the passage about 4 or 5 features of something, okay, and in the question he asked that what are the main how many characteristics of that certain thing are mentioned in the text. So by reading the passage, you might find out that there are 3 or 4 or 5 characteristics which are given. By implied, we mean that it is not clearly there. The writer might have shown some kind of tendency towards one of the characteristics or the other. So by reading, by looking at the words specifically, you will have to come to that conclusion that okay, the writer is favoring one thing or disfavoring. Then there is making inference. When we say infer or inference, we again mean the information which is not directly given there. If you could remember, in the introductory class, I gave you an example that our this preparation classes are running 5 days a week. Okay, and these are basically 5 working days. Okay, so it's understood that when we say 5 working days, we mean Monday to Friday. Okay, Monday to Friday, these are called working days. Okay, so probably we have a sentence that states that the classes will run for 5 days a week. Okay, and then the examiner might ask a question about that will there be class on Saturday? Okay, so we know that we are given data about 5 working days. Therefore, it is Monday to Friday, and definitely Saturday is not included into that. So the answer would be no, or the choice would be wrong. Or for example, in the choice he said that will there be class on Saturday? So we would go for it as a wrong answer. That is what making inference is. Then you have to see that what is the logical structure of the passage. Is writer following some kind of structure? By this we mean that is it about cause and effect? Is it something which is connecting? And how can we find that out? There are a few conjunctions or linking words, as we call them, that can help us figure out whether the passage has some logical conclusion or not. For instance, when the writer says, firstly, okay, it means that is the first point, that is the first key point which he is talking about. Then when he says similarly, it means he is adding some meaning into that previous statement or previous idea. So if there is one point that he's talked about and probably he wants to add something into it, he would say similarly, or probably he would say further, or he might use a word like likewise. All three conjunctions or linking words are to add the meaning or add additional information into that idea that we have. But if the examiner wants to check some contrasting ideas, okay, then he might use words like however. Now, when he is saying however, he is saying that we have to think of an opposite of whatever has been said. So what is the opposite? What is the contrasting idea that we have to keep in our mind? So words like however or nevertheless or nonetheless, okay, though, these are some of the words that are used when we talk about contrasting ideas. So there is a positive statement which the writer has explained, and now he is moving to some contrasting idea or opposite idea. So he is using such kind of expressions. There are also certain expressions, plus minus we can say, which are used to talk about concluding remarks, like when the writer says eventually, or when he says therefore, okay, or when he says finally. Now by these expressions he means that he's coming to some concluding remarks. Okay, so when you look at a question, try to figure out that what part of the passage it is talking about. Is it asking for some positive information, some contrasting information, some concluding remarks? Okay, and then read or focus accordingly onto that part.